Hi everyone, welcome back to Chris Cooks. This week we're talking meal prep. School is starting back up. Busy mornings are on the way. Let me help you out. We're gonna make some breakfast wraps that you can meal prep. First thing in the week, you have them all week long, and they're very, very tasty. Let's get to it. My breakfast wraps, I use ground turkey and I make sausage with those, heavy on the vegetable. We're gonna take this in steps. If you make everything in the same pot and you just cook it all together, it gets really slimy. So we're gonna cook everything separately, prep it, and then we mix it all at once, wrap it in our tortillas, burrito shells or whatever. This is what we use here since we're grain-free, dairy-free, gluten-free. Siete, they make the best products for that. You can use whatever tortilla that you like though. What I'm gonna start with is the turkey sausage that we're gonna make. I call it turkey sausage. It's not cured or anything like that. Ground turkey, sage and rosemary. I also use a little bit of maple syrup and just some seasonings that we'll add into the pot. 2 pounds of ground turkey and sage leaves. I just want probably 5 or 6. You can get all the small ones as well. 1 sprig of rosemary. Strip the leaves off of that. And keep the tender part of the top as well. Kind of pinch it all together into a ball. Give it a rough chop. Into our pan back here, we're gonna go medium high, olive oil, about a tablespoon of that to start. We want to fry this up a little bit, otherwise if the fresh sage and rosemary just goes directly in with the meat and you don't get this fried up, the flavor of it is a little bit too intense. It does taste a little more raw. Also, it distributes that flavor throughout the cooking oil, which will evenly flavor our turkey. To this, I'm going to add some of my house seasoning here that I have. Salt and pepper is just fine for this stage. This is just my proprietary blend that I'm working on that makes everything taste better. You're going to love it. We're going to add some other things to that in addition to make this taste more like sausage. First, ground nutmeg. Just end up with a good pinch of that. The smell of nutmeg is one of this life's greatest smells. And this time of year, geez, I'm so excited for it. Allspice, ground allspice. People always ask me, why do you have such a big container of ground allspice? What do you use it for? I use it for just about everything. If you're not putting allspice in your food, you're a little bit living half a life. Use allspice for whatever. You'll be impressed. Not a ton. Goes a long way. This is cinnamon, just ground cinnamon. The allspice, that was about half a teaspoon. Ground cinnamon, probably 1/8 of a teaspoon or 1/4 teaspoon to your preference. We're gonna kick the heat up higher. We're gonna let that slowly brown, crisp up a little bit before we add in just a little bit of maple syrup. While that's browning though, I can start prepping the vegetables for the next step. For the vegetables, 2 12-ounce bags of hash browns. I've got these that are a mix of like carrot and sweet potatoes as well. I really like those. Just regular potatoes is fine. 2 bell peppers, a zucchini, and 4 or 5 mushrooms. This is a very large zucchini. I'm only going to use half of this guy. So if I cut each half into quarters like that, 4 sticks, and then just kind of fine dice, we're going to want to end up with 1.5 to 2 cups of zucchini. We're starting to get browning on this. The pan is drying up a little bit. I'm going to remove it from the heat. Maple syrup. I'm just going to use about a tablespoon of maple syrup for this whole 2 pounds of ground turkey. We don't want it super sweet. It's going to be just there in the back as a flavor note that will be really nice. Who doesn't love maple sausage? First element done, right into our bowl. And all of these flavorful bits, the fond in the pan, I want that for my vegetables. So don't clean that out. We're just going right back to cooking. Medium heat, a couple teaspoons of olive oil, in with the vegetables. I'm gonna go in with more of my seasoning, about a teaspoon for that. Salt and pepper. You would use 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and like a 1/4 teaspoon black pepper. The liquids on that are gonna pull out and they're gonna help break up all the fond on the outside, and then that will get incorporated as additional flavor into our vegetables. It's gonna be delicious. In with our frozen hash browns. And about another half teaspoon or so of the seasoning, or salt and pepper. While the vegetables are cooking, I'm gonna prep my eggs. 7 whole eggs, and then I mix that in with 2 cups of egg whites. I just like the macro breakdown of that a little bit more protein, but you can also just use 14 whole eggs. A whisk or a fork, we're just gonna break that up, make it as uniform as we can. Vegetables are done. Add those directly to the turkey. The same pan, I'm not even gonna clean it out. Olive oil. This will need probably about a full tablespoon, and then in with the eggs. We'll just use this spatula as well. Another teaspoon or so of seasoning. I don't add butter, I don't add dairy because we don't do those things. If those are things that you want to add, absolutely go for it. For me, I add a little bit of olive oil and then I just scrape the sides and the bottom constantly as the eggs cook. Now the eggs are finished and those also get added to the bowl. There's our filling. This smells so tasty, I have to taste it. And now we can get to the process of making the burritos. Again, up to now, this could be the end of your meal prep if you just want to put these in containers and then you can just microwave them real quick. For my girls, they love to just eat a wrap in the car as we drive to school, so I make these for them. Most tortillas will be more pliable and wrap better after you warm them. That's especially the case with siete tortillas. They need to be warmed or they will just crack, crumble apart. So just a little bit on each side. Doesn't take too long. We just take a scoop right in the middle. The more you add to it, the more difficult it is, so you want to be careful not to overfill these. The sides go in first, then you roll over and kind of roll back, and any of these corners that start to poke out, just tuck those in as you roll everything forward. And that is your wrap. We're going to toast these on the back side of our griddle. Start with the fold side down. Of course, the reason for grilling these after is it keeps them intact. Plus it helps with the texture, you know, it's really nice, makes it a little more crispy on the outside. When we package these up, we can put them in the freezer. They'll store there for a while. We can put them directly in the fridge, and then they can just, once they're thawed, we heat them up in the air fryer for, you know, about 10 minutes, and then they're just perfect. A version that I do is also adding some plain Greek yogurt. Again, this is just for me because I can have dairy and I think that it's nice. You can also do like dairy-free yogurt if that's something that you like. It's like a sour cream effect, but higher protein, and I like the consistency of it. I have my stacks of burritos here. These ones have the yogurt. These ones do not. A few more yogurt-free ones back there. I'm gonna use some wax paper sheets to wrap all these, but before I do, let's give it a taste, see how we did. Even distribution, the ratio of eggs, meat, protein, vegetables, for me, that's just perfect. That is impeccable. It's perfect. This is an amazing breakfast. So easy to make. And let's see, how many I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 burritos, plus enough for a bowl, which is also an option and even easier. But this is a perfect recipe for meal prepping breakfast as school's getting started. Kids are gonna love this. Very tasty. I would dare say healthy, and I think you're really gonna enjoy this one. Let me know in the comments what you think. Full recipe linked below. Make it for somebody that you care about. That is good.